Hello and welcome. Today is October 18th. My name is Yasmin Zacaria Mikhaiel, and I'm doing a roundtable with our actors of LA RUTA today. Would love to start with having them introduce themselves. So Emily, if we could start with you.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Yaneth Perez. I go by she, her. I play one of the roles of the Women of Juarez, and I'm a second year BSA acting major.
Hello, my name is Emily Garcia, and I use she, her pronouns, and I am playing the role of Yolanda, and I am in my final semester at UT.
Hi, my name is Cielo Ortiz, and I use she, her pronouns, and my role in the show is Brenda, and I'm a second year theater and dance major with an emphasis in performance process.
Hi, my name is Gwenny. I also use she, her pronouns. I played Deja Maya in this production, and I am a senior theater and dance major.
Hi everyone, my name is Deja Criston, and I also use she, her pronouns. I play one of the women of Juarez in the show, and I am a third year UTeach theater major.
Hi everyone, I'm Vivian Gonzalez. I use she, her pronouns, and I play Yvonne in La Ruta. I'm also a senior BA theater and dance major with an emphasis in performers process.
Hello everyone, my name is Kathleen Guerrero. I play Marisela in the show, and I use she, her, hers, and I am a fourth year theater for youth and communities major.
Hello, I'm Anapaula. I am a woman of Juarez. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a senior theater and dance major with an emphasis in performance process.
Hi everyone, I'm Manuela. I am playing Saide in La Ruta, and I just graduated from UT's theater and dance department in the BA, and I'm in my last semester as a journalism major right now.
Wonderful, everyone. Thank you so much. I was so excited to get started. I don't know if I introduced myself as the dramaturg of LA RUTA, but I'm also a second year master's candidate in performances public practice, and I use she and they pronouns. So thank you all for joining me today. I'm wondering if one or two of you in your own words could tell me, what is LA RUTA about? What is this show that we've been working on?
Well, are we just jumping in? Okay. Well, La Ruta is basically a story about the women of Juarez during a very difficult time with the feminicidios that are happening across the border. It is a story about resilience, power, empowerment of women, and like what's left behind after a tragedy and how we reconcile and come together and deal with the aftermath of certain situations. That's like the overall, but someone please be more plot consistent.
Yeah, I mean, it's also based on testimonies from women who lived during, the spike of violence against women in Juarez in the 90s, Ciudad Juarez in Mexico in the 90s. So it is a very difficult, heartbreaking story, and sadly it's still very relevant today. But it's also, like Anapaula said, about resilience, about the power of women, about the strength of women, the strength of mothers.
Awesome. And yes, Vivian, feel free to share.
And going on into the plot also, it follows two mothers as they deal with the loss of their daughters. And it's also, the story is interesting in that it doesn't follow like exactly like linearly. It goes like back and forth in timelines. And the character that we follow the most is Brenda, which is Cielo. And it's how she first got into that world as she began working at the maquilas. And the maquilas, whoever's watching it doesn't know, it's the factories along the border that basically like an entire industry that like was created and completely exploded after NAFTA was put into action. And a lot of the maquila workers happen to be the women that are abducted. And so it follows two maquila workers and like how they got involved with that.
Thank you. And this show has been a very big feat for our department, and even something super new in the way that we're doing theater right now, considering the global pandemic that we're still being rooted in. So y'all started rehearsal in early September. You've now been doing Zoom rehearsals every evening, staggered calls, 6 to 10, Monday through Friday. I'm curious if y'all can speak about what that process has been like for you. Feel free to jump in.
So at least when I first started this, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I was nervous because I never really like met anyone. I'd met like a few people here and there, but I didn't like, I don't think I've ever had like full-blown conversations with them. And so to go into rehearsal not knowing anything, and then like coming out of it and like being able to like create bonds with like these people and like make art in like a really like amazing way is really surprising. I didn't think that Zoom chemistry existed, but it does for sure. And yeah, it's been a really like empowering experience. You feel like, I don't know, like I felt a lot throughout the pandemic that I had trouble kind of like pushing myself just like by myself to make art, and like being able to do it with like other people is it's obviously motivating because you have other people to do it with. But yeah, that's been my experience.
Emily, I saw you had a hand.
Yeah, so coming into this, I was a bit skeptical because everything was going to be through Zoom. And just like Cielo said, I hadn't met any of these fine women prior to like rehearsals. So I thought it was challenging, or trying to figure out how we were going to create that chemistry through a screen. And Zoom fatigue is pretty real. So you go from going to classes all day on Zoom, studying on your computer. When you want to have leisure time, you're probably looking at another screen or your phone, and then rehearsals for 5 hours on a screen. So it was a bit difficult trying to just stay positive because you're just on the screen all the time, and it can get so frustrating. But these girls are so positive. It was just coming to rehearsals and bringing this story to life became kind of like a coping mechanism for me, especially like during the pandemic, because I had something to look forward to and something that challenged me. And our director, Anna, she's amazing. She's amazing, and her mind is so brilliant. She figured out how to do our choreography and how to build the chemistry that we have with one another through this new medium. So it was a roller coaster, but it was amazing. And I'm so excited for everyone to see this because the chemistry is real. Like it's not fabricated. It's something that we literally have with one another. Like we bond. Any moment we have a break, like we're bonding and we're talking about crazy, fun, awesome things. And yeah.
Go ahead, Vivian.
Yeah, sorry. But I think like going on what they said, like, yes, I was like really, really scared, but I think I was also very excited because I think we're really like pioneers in this, like from Zoom, like all like the table reads that have been going on. I haven't really seen anything like our show. And I think I'm like, if y'all know me, like, you know, I can go on hours and hours about art accessibility. And I think like having this like in a digital platform makes the show more accessible. Like personally, I have family that has never been able to see a show I'm in whether I was in Brownsville, where I'm from, or in Austin. And so having this as a digital space where it's a pay what you can, it makes it so that anyone can see it. And so that's what I was probably the most excited about when we moved into the digital space.
You go.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be honest and I'm going to say that at the beginning, I found myself kind of like, I don't know, like I remember when this was announced as part of this season, like I was so excited. And like, I found myself at the beginning, like kind of grieving what could have been, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, wow, like, can you imagine if we were able to be in a rehearsal room together, like the power, like, you know what I mean? Like, I was always just thinking about that, or also just like the moments when, you know, Anna, our director, she started being like, guys, you need to like look at your camera and not, you know, the squares. And I was like, oh my God, but like if I could be in a room with these people and like, you know, being with them and feeding off of them and their energy, like, can you imagine like what it would be like instead of me looking at this green dot all the time? Like, you know, and so I found myself like kind of feeling that at the beginning, but then I was like, no, like this is a huge experience. It's, I mean, it is what's going on right now. Like theaters and theater artists are having to reinvent themselves in order to, you know, stay afloat. And like, and we're able to like still make some live magic happen even through these screens, you know? So like once I kind of let go of that notion of like, oh my God, what if La Ruta had been, you know, in person? But like, one, that's not our reality. And two, like once you let go of that and you see like the work that we've been doing and like the amazing work that our like the tech people have come up with to like make this the best possible like live experience, once you really start looking at that, I mean, it has been incredible. Like I honestly could not have asked for a better experience to end my theater journey at UT.
And yeah, and like adding on to that, like at first, like I was very like grieving, like, oh, it's just this story. Like not only is it the first Zoom production ever done, but it's the first time we see an all Latina cast for a main stage show, and like a story that reflects, you know, Latina, like the lifestyle lives in Mexico and in the border. Like it's something that has not been seen as a main stage production in UT ever. So not only is the story like something that had to happen, we made it happen constantly, like in spite of all the obstacles, in spite of all the it became a different thing, but I feel like it's what needed to happen. It's what needed to be made so that my family can see it back in Mexico, my friends in other cities. Like I just think like it's such an important show, it's such an important story, and now it's still happening. And now I'm very excited to see what people we're going to reach that we might have not reached if this was a stage production. And yeah, I'm just very happy this is happening, like that we're telling this story because it needs to be heard.
Awesome. I want to pick up on an earlier thought. I heard talk about the choreography and about the different ways y'all had to coordinate moving in space. So I wonder if y'all that are a part of maybe fight scene can talk a little bit about what that was like, and even maybe some of the sewing machine work that had to happen. What was that space like for y'all to be coordinating, to be moving in space?
Going through this, I think we all came into this with an open mind. Like we're gonna have to do some miming and some pretty weird movements, and it's gonna hurt our arms and it's gonna hurt our body, but like we're acting with not just like our minds, but with our whole selves. So it added on to the story and it added on to like the excitement. It was a bit difficult because, you know, it's a lot going back and forth and like rearranging and trying to like figure out how we can move together synchronously as if we're in the same room. So we did have a lot of patience with this. It was very fun. So that was my hot take.
I have quite a lot of fight scenes. I think I have all the fight scenes, and I also like braid people's hair, and it was trial and error definitely on that stuff, especially because like the mirroring, you have to like unmirror yourself on Zoom and get like tramada because your face is all wonky. But it was a lot of fun. Emily, you want to speak on that? Because she has to choke me through Zoom, which is very interesting. But I was excited because I love fight scenes. Like even like in
Don't give too much away, girl. Don't give too much
yeah.
away.
She doesn't do anything. It's like a friendly choke. We're pals, amigas.
Between the two of us, to say the least.
Yeah. It's a lot of you go, Emily, sorry.
Definitely just been such an interesting experience, but because the story and getting the truth out there is at the heart of all of our work, we just went for it. And I think the only way that we have gotten to the point that we've gotten to now is because of everyone having such open minds and hearts and knowing that this is what we have right now and this is what we're working with, so why not make the most out of it so that we can tell this story that deserves to be heard. So even though I was like sweating and screaming at like 10 p.m. in my parents' home back, you know, and like my cat scratching at the door, we had all sorts of fun things going on, but we knew that the work that we were doing was worth it. And as long as we were giving our hearts and giving our truth to the story, then there's nothing else that we could have asked for.
Yeah, Anna, she sees, you know, we don't really see what they're seeing, right? So a lot of the time she'll be like, okay, look to your right. And if she looks to her left, y'all are staring at each other. And you're like, and there's a blank wall next to you. And you're like, yeah, totally. And it's just like, I mean, it really is like a mind effing moment because it's like, you have to either, there's some points when you look at the camera, there's some points when you look here where your movements have to coordinate, and it really is really crazy and weird. But when, like, I've had the chance of just like watching for most of it, and when I see those moments, I'm like, holy crap, like it works. Like you would never think it does, but like it works. Like, and again, Anna's mind, like she has created this, like, these movements and this choreography that I mean, I don't know. I've seen a couple of like virtual productions since this has started, and I haven't seen anything like this. So I'm really excited.
But can I also just say, let me brag on this amazing group of women here, because the work that everyone has done and the dedication to this process is amazing. And it wouldn't have worked if we weren't giving our all 24/7, and we didn't have the typical rehearsal experience. So like Cielo was saying, like some of us didn't know each other. We didn't know what we were getting into because of everything going on virtually. But because of the like context of the show and the different things that we're dealing with, it allowed us to get close. It allowed us to become vulnerable with each other and allow for those scenes to not be a big deal. And for moments where we're looking at a green dot, I can still see the face of my best friend who's longing for me and fighting for me because of the relationships that we've created, even though it's behind a screen.
Yeah, I would also say what helps build that intimacy and closeness has a lot to do with the music that offers some lightness to the show. Gwenny, could you tell me some about your process when it comes to guitar and the way that you've navigated doing live Zoom performance in that sense?
Yeah, sure. I've never really done any sort of like theater that involved like me playing an instrument like and like singing at the same time, so that whole thing was new to me. And then additionally, just like doing it all over Zoom was also like it was a different sort of process because Zoom also picks up things like in different ways, and it picks up sound kind of weird. And so Jesse, our composer, he would always be telling me, okay, you gotta back up from the camera. Like every time I would be playing my guitar, I'm like, okay, because like I always would forget it. But yeah, I feel like it was a lot more work to do something like this and incorporate music like this online. I know that all of us like had to record songs and things like that. And like recording and like learning singing is so much easier in person. And the fact that we were all able to do it like not in person, like over Zoom, like through like individual sessions with Jessie or like just on our own, like it's so crazy, but like it shows that we're all like really dedicated to this and really dedicated to bringing this story to life, and that means a lot. So yeah.
Piggybacking off of Gwenny, with the music, it was such a like an involved process that I very much enjoyed, and they did not throw us into the deep end at all. We had like dialect workshops with Robert to make sure we were hitting all those consonants and pronouncing vowels correctly. And Jessie helped so much with like the recording and like having our pieces, and Gwenny did amazing as well and giving us a layout to go off of. And so a lot of the success of this show truly comes from like the collaborative nature of the entire team and everyone's active efforts to ensure that like everyone can be as successful as they can and giving them the amount of resources that they need. And also comes from our dramaturgy team with giving us like the history of the songs and understanding them in the translation, and then like us just diving deep into them and learning like, okay, how does this correlate? And then our music and sound of how we're incorporating this, even with like our choreography as well. We all did that collaboratively in like a short frame, and it was just Anna just taking snapshots of us reacting to different things. But yeah, it's just been so incredible. And it's truly the community of people that we have here with us that have been making this project just come to life in the best way possible.
Yeah, I think like that's what most surprised me out of this whole process is how like the power of theater. It's like, it's so freaking incredible how even though we're not in the same room with each other, even though we don't see each other or have like those, like, it's still, you feel the collaboration, you feel like the love for each other and everything. I'm just so amazed how it doesn't feel like it's like any different. I mean, a little bit. I mean, of course it's a little different, but like what I mean, it's like the collaboration process and how all of that, like what makes theater so incredible and so important and like such a wonderful process for actors, like that was not lost at all. That was not like something that was dreaded. Like I feel like, you know, I just speechless. That's all I have to say. Like the way that we all collaborate, the way that Jessie made us sound so good. You know, I'm just so amazed at it. You know, oh my goodness, singing, wow. But no, yeah, like I'm just very amazed of how like every night I would finish rehearsal and feel like, you know, I would feel so full and so whole. And I'm like, yes, you know, it's still there. The magic of theater transcends anything.
Kathy, have a thought?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say with like the collaborative nature of just like the songs and everything. Like I remember recording like specifically at 1 a.m, just like on like having to re-record everything because like you can't control the sounds in like my house, like at home, and it's just everything and just being like so tired. But then once Anna gave us a little snippet of our recordings, I just remember feeling so whole and so connected with everyone. And like Anapaula says, theater transcends across all borders, across any device, across anything. Like the power of theater is really so much involved in this piece, not only because we're on Zoom, but like the fact that we transitioned like almost everything to Zoom and like made it what it is right now. And I'm just so excited for everyone to see what we have, because honestly, like it makes my heart whole, like how everyone's saying, it makes my heart whole every time I go home from rehearsal. And it like breaks my heart a little that I can't see y'all and hug y'all, but it makes my heart whole knowing that I'm doing this, that I'm pioneering this with a bunch of wonderful and amazing people that are also giving a show to wonderful and amazing people who need to see this. Everyone needs to see this. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. A lot of the process has been super heartening to see the new ways that we're working and really exercising patience and grace with each other. I'm curious, in the last few minutes we have together, if there are any other surprises that y'all want to uplift or things we haven't touched on so far.
All I'm gonna say is you guys are not ready. You don't even know. You don't even know what you're gonna see. You have no idea. You think you're gonna see a suit? No, you're not ready. well, it's incredible. It's crazy, revolutionary.
Who wants to take it?
I think one of the most surprising things from this process, because I was so scared of getting into this, especially the role I had. Like, I was terrified of like some of the stuff I was gonna have to say and some of the themes that we were supposed to explore. I even have like a trauma log, as Anna calls it. And I was just so scared of this show and this role, even though I loved it so much. But I think one of the most surprising things was like of how healing it was, you know, because it's about survival in the face of like of femicide, in the face of machismo and in the Latino community, like in the face of so many obstacles. And I think a lot of like the past traumas that I had with machismo, because I'm from the border as well, and like I'm the first daughter. I'm the first daughter of immigrants, and so y'all know we hold the world in our backs. And so the whole process was so healing for me to be able to be in a space of strong Latina women and to be telling the story of strong Latina women. And the whole process is just like so much love for me as well, even though the themes were really, really dark.
I just wanted to say, can you hear me now? I just wanted to say this is a show written about Latinas, acted by Latinas, and directed by Latinas. And I don't think that's something many people can say they've been a part of or seen. So when we say this is something special and interesting and something that needs to be seen, it needs to be seen.
Yeah, I'm sorry, just to add, one surprising thing for me personally with my character, with Marisela, she's based off of Marisela Escobedo, she is a Mexican activist who allowed us to have this beautiful movement of justicia for every female across the border. And what surprised me the most is when I first got this role, I didn't hear about her. And once I like got to know her and got to like really connect with her, it surprised me how much she transformed what we see today. Like, it's just amazing. And seeing all the Netflix documentaries that are coming out about her, by the way, watch it, they're amazing, beautiful. It's just so heartwarming that a mother's love can really just transcend and beat down any border, anyone, anybody. A mother's, and I really feel that's what this show is, just a mother's love for her child.
We can take one more thought if anyone wants to share a final surprise of this process.
Yeah, I think like it has been just a process of adjustments from everyone. Like everyone's been saying, it's been incredibly collaborative from, you know, the work that, I mean, some of us aren't even in Austin. Like I'm in Houston, you know what I mean? And like, it's huge that like what everyone's been doing to make this as cohesive as possible and to make it seem like we're all, you know, in the same building, in the same room. Like it's been adjustments, like the Zoom lag is real. Zoom mutes you if you try to talk too closely to someone else. Like I mean, we've had to like, yes, overcome things and yes, like adjust. But I think like somebody else said, like, it's just that everyone has approached this from a place of like love and commitment and just like resilience to try to make this as awesome as possible for UT's, you know, theater department's first virtual performance. So that's the power behind this piece, is like the team that we have. Like it really couldn't be a better team, and we're all really excited and we can't wait for people to watch this.
Thank you all so much for your time. This has been a very beautiful roundtable. Really grateful to have all of your voices with us today. Yeah, so you can just wave goodbye to everyone. Thank you so much for your time.